5 years ago, Martin Sharpe almost died in the Isle of Man TT races. Today, he's forsaken his wheelchair for a racing saloon. Good evening. The full story of this remarkable sportsman coming up in Eastern Sport.
Well, modern motorsport, with all its risks, can produce some horrific injuries, but some great heroics. And tonight we've got a story of unique courage involving Northamptonshire bike racer Martin Sharpe. In the early 70s, he was at the top of the British sport. He won events like the Northwest 200 and had victories over Barry Sheen to his credit. Then came two massive accidents. In 1975, his heart stopped for several minutes after a crash in the Isle of Man. Then at Brands Hatch, he was left virtually paralysed from the waist down after crashing at 130 miles an hour. But marvellous treatment from the Stoke Mandeville Hospital saved him from a wheelchair, and severely disabled, he was sent home to a new career, running a pub near the Silverstone circuit. But Martin Sharpe was looking for a more exciting form of rehabilitation and found it in Big Sam, a Datsun 240Z that a friend jokingly suggested he enter in the British Mod Sport Championship. But Martin saw it as a challenge rather than a joke. With a totally useless right leg, he appreciated that his bike days were over, but couldn't accept the end of his racing career. So, with Big Sam sporting the emblems of the International Year of the Disabled and the Stoke Mandeville Appeal, he set out to overcome the two big problems. First, to fit the car with competitive hand controls, and secondly, to persuade the RAC for the first time to give a disabled man a racing licence. Well, what sort of particular things were they worried about with your disability?
Well, the safety aspects, whether I could actually control the car in situations when the car's skidding and sliding. They're also concerned with my own safety, whether I could get out of the car if it was involved in a large accident and perhaps was on fire. They wanted to see I could get out of the car and move away from it, and to make sure that when I was driving the car I wasn't endangering any other competitors because I perhaps couldn't coordinate properly. But having proved I can, then they removed this sort of obstacle and gave me the licence.
Well, you've overcome the bureaucracy problems, the red tape. Let's see how you've overcome the problems inside the driver's position here.
Well, to make the car drivable for me with one leg, I've had to have this. The clutch is now moved from the foot position to the hand position here, and we operate the clutch with my hand at the same time as I operate the gears. It's a motorcycle clutch arrangement, but working through two brake servos which are on the floor there, and this gives me the necessary power because the clutch is very strong and you haven't got enough strength to operate it. That is the clutch side of it. We have a hand throttle here which I use as well as the foot throttle. There's two throttles on the car. So as I'm entering a bend, it's necessary to brake very late, and because I operate my left leg, I can't put it onto the throttle and the brake. I use the hand throttle, brake, and then change gear. This enables me to drive as well as any able-bodied person.
Any doubts that Martin Sharpe and his hand controls would be uncompetitive were quickly dispelled. In the last 4 meetings of the Mod Sport season, he's put the car on the front row of the grid, won his class and consistently been among the front runners. But the able-bodied drivers who trail in his wake are still perplexed by the man with hand controls who has to have his leg specially strapped in before a race.
It has to be fixed because I can't control it, and when I'm going around corners, the G-forces that the car creates causes the leg to actually just go anywhere, so we have to fix it down, otherwise it would get in the way of the pedals and would become dangerous, so we have to fix it. But I just forget about it. We just attach it, I strap in, and that's the way I drive. The main problem is the actual speed of operation. I'm gradually getting faster, but the gear change like this is heavier and obviously not as quick as a little ordinary gear lever. But we're overcoming that. I'm getting used to the sort of different coordination required to actually drive my left foot. I think with these controls and with this car, I can be successful and show that it doesn't impose any restrictions on me. I love racing. I spend a lot of time watching racing, being involved with racing people. The thing we're trying to prove now, above everything, is that disabled people can do these sports. They have to alter things, they have to change things, but with the Year of the Disabled now coming up, I want to be out there proving that we've got equality.
So, having overcome all the problems put in front of him, Martin Sharpe now sees his racing career chiefly as a means of bringing help and hope to the disabled. And next year he plans to achieve truly international publicity by racing in one of the greatest motorsport events of them all, the Le Mans 24 Hours.
Winning Le Mans would be very nice, but whatever happens at Le Mans, it's got to be a success for the Year of the Disabled. To have somebody actually competing at Le Mans would be fantastic.
Well, incredible story. We hope to have a few more tales of the unexpected in Match of the Week tomorrow night at 5 to 10 from